Have you ever stepped out of the shower feeling a little lightheaded, with your heart pounding faster than usual, and thought, maybe it's just age catching up to me? What if the way you shower, a habit you've done daily for years, was quietly raising your risk of stroke? It may sound surprising, but doctors warn that for older adults, everyday shower routines can put extra stress on the brain and heart. Imagine this: it's late at night. The house is calm, and you decide on a warm shower to relax before bed. Or maybe it's early morning, and that burst of cold water feels like the perfect way to wake up. Both seem harmless, even comforting, yet hidden inside are dangers that especially affect people over 60. In this video, we'll go through 7 common showering habits that may silently increase stroke risk. Some of them feel so normal, we don't even think twice about them until something serious happens. If you've ever wondered whether your daily shower is truly safe, type 1 in the comments. If this is the first time you've thought about it, type DOD. And don't forget to subscribe to Health 365, because protecting your health starts with small daily choices. Let's dive into the first habit: showering late at night. It feels soothing to end the day with a warm rinse. But as the evening cools, your body temperature naturally drops too. In younger years, blood vessels adapt easily to these changes, but after age 60, arteries stiffen and lose flexibility. Jumping into a late night shower in a chilly bathroom can trigger sudden vessel constriction. That tightening reduces blood flow to the brain and heart, exactly the conditions that increase stroke risk. Doctors often compare it to an old garden hose. Instead of flexing smoothly, it stiffens and clamps down under pressure. That spike or sudden drop in circulation can be dangerous in just a few minutes. One of my patients, a 70-year-old man from Ohio, made it a habit to shower close to midnight. He thought it helped him sleep. But one cold evening, he stepped out of the bathroom, told his wife he felt dizzy, and collapsed minutes later. At the hospital, doctors confirmed he had suffered a stroke, largely due to vessel constriction from late night showering. How to stay safe: try to shower earlier in the evening, before temperatures fall. Warm up the bathroom beforehand, either by running hot water briefly or using a small heater. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you feel chilled, faint, or your heart races, step out right away and rest. Comfort doesn't have to be sacrificed. It just takes a few adjustments to protect your heart and brain. Now, let's talk about another risky routine: jumping into a cold shower first thing in the morning. Many people swear by it as an instant energy boost, but for older adults, the sudden shock of icy water forces blood vessels to tighten sharply. The heart must pump harder through narrower passages, raising blood pressure and creating conditions where clots may form. If a clot travels to the brain, a stroke can happen without warning. I remember my neighbor, Mr. Harris, a healthy 70-year-old who loved trying new health trends. After hearing about the benefits of cold showers, he began starting his mornings with freezing water. For 2 weeks, he told everyone how refreshed he felt. Until one morning, after stepping out, he collapsed. At the hospital, doctors explained the shock from the cold shower had overwhelmed his heart and vessels. A safer choice: begin with lukewarm water and gradually cool it down at the end, if you enjoy the refreshing effect. But if you already have high blood pressure or heart disease, avoid cold showers altogether. On the opposite extreme, soaking too long in hot water carries its own risks. Hot showers and baths cause vessels to widen, dropping blood pressure. For older adults, That can mean less blood reaching the brain and heart. Prolonged exposure also slows circulation, raising the chance of clots. My brother, in his late 60s, loved soaking in the tub after gardening, often for half an hour or more. One evening, he stood up after a long soak, felt faint, and collapsed. Doctors explained the sudden drop in pressure and sluggish circulation had nearly triggered a stroke. To protect yourself, keep showers or baths warm, but not scalding, and limit them to 10 to 15 minutes. Step out immediately if you feel dizzy or weak. Another overlooked mistake: not drinking water before a shower. Many think it doesn't matter, but going in dehydrated makes blood thicker and slower to flow, which raises clot risk. Steam from the shower adds to fluid loss, worsening dehydration without you realizing it. My aunt, age 68, often skipped water in the morning. One day, she nearly fainted stepping out of the bathroom. Her doctor explained dehydration had thickened her blood and weakened circulation. Since then, she drinks a glass of water about 15-20 minutes before showering and hasn't had the problem since. Simple tip: keep a glass of water by your bed or in the kitchen so it's easy to remember. Next, never shower when you're already feeling dizzy, weak, or unwell. Those symptoms may be your body warning you about circulation problems. Adding the stress of hot or cold water can tip things over the edge. My neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, age 65, once ignored a headache and stepped into a warm shower, hoping it would relax her. Minutes later, she collapsed. Doctors said the headache was an early warning sign. Her blood pressure dropped further in the heat, cutting circulation to the brain. The lesson: if you feel unwell, postpone your shower. Rest, hydrate, and if symptoms continue, call your doctor. Finally, avoid showering immediately after exercise. After a workout, your blood vessels are dilated and your body is slightly dehydrated. Jumping straight into a hot shower can drop blood pressure suddenly, starving the brain and heart of oxygen. One summer day, my cousin returned from a jog, sweaty and tired. Without resting or drinking water, he headed into the shower. Within minutes, he felt dizzy and nearly collapsed. At the hospital, doctors explained the combination of dehydration and vessel dilation had pushed his body into a dangerous state. The safer way: rest for 15 to 20 minutes, drink water, and allow your body to recover before showering. After exercise, it's important to give your body at least 15-20 minutes to cool down. Take a seat, sip some water, and allow your heart rate to settle before heading into the shower. This short break gives your circulation time to normalize and helps prevent sudden drops in blood pressure. It may feel like only a small delay, but it could spare you from a serious health scare. Now, let's move on to another habit that many older adults don't think twice about: showering right after a big meal or medication. For some, it feels natural: eat lunch, take daily medicine, then freshen up with a shower. But this sequence can quietly strain the brain and heart. Here's why: after eating, your body redirects blood to the stomach and intestines to help with digestion. At the same time, stepping into a warm shower pulls blood toward the skin. The result: a tug of war over circulation, digestion demanding blood on one side, warm water drawing it to the surface on the other. The brain ends up shortchanged, and in older adults with less flexible vessels, this imbalance can create the perfect setting for a stroke. I recall my friend's father, Mr. Thompson, who was 65. After a heavy Sunday lunch, he took his blood pressure pills and immediately went to shower. Within minutes, he felt weak and collapsed. Doctors later confirmed he'd suffered a mild stroke, triggered by the combination of eating, medication, and showering too soon afterward. His family was stunned, because it seemed like such an ordinary routine. The safer choice: wait 30 to 60 minutes after meals before showering. This gives your body time to digest without overloading your circulatory system. If you've just taken medication, especially for blood pressure or heart health, give yourself extra time before bathing. Drinking a glass of water can also help circulation stay steady. Patience here isn't just wise, it can be life-saving. Now that we've explored all 7 risky shower habits, let's bring everything together. We've uncovered how small, everyday actions, like a cold rinse in the morning, a hot soak after gardening, skipping water before a shower, or bathing right after exercise or a meal, can carry hidden dangers for older adults. The good news: every one of these risks can be reduced with a few thoughtful changes. Simple steps like hydrating before bathing, spacing showers away from meals or workouts, and paying attention to how your body feels can transform risky routines into safe, healthy ones. Remember, long-term health isn't shaped by dramatic one-time decisions. It's built on small daily habits. Each smart choice lowers your stroke risk and adds more years of energy, independence, and time with loved ones. Think of these adjustments as daily gifts of self-care. Ask yourself, which of these habits could I change today? Even one small shift can create a safer tomorrow. Speaking of habits, let's step outside the bathroom for a moment. Have you ever heard about someone who went for a simple evening walk and never came back? It's heartbreaking, but it happens more often than you'd expect. Sometimes the danger isn't from a fall or traffic. It's something happening silently inside the body. Walking is usually one of the best things you can do for your health. But not all walks are equally safe. The time of day, the weather, your posture, even how soon after eating you go. These details can quietly turn a healthy stroll into a hidden risk, especially as we age. That's why in this next part, we're going to uncover 6 common walking mistakes that can raise stroke risk. Some of them may surprise you, but each has a simple fix. And don't worry, this won't be a lecture. Think of it like a friendly chat about how to walk smarter, not harder. If you enjoy evening walks, type 1 in the comments. If not, drop a and don't forget to subscribe to Health 365 so you don't miss tips that truly matter. Think back to the last time you went for a walk in blazing summer heat or on a chilly winter morning. It probably didn't feel the same as a pleasant spring stroll, right? That's because extreme temperatures, whether it's sweltering heat above 95 degrees F or cold below 60 degrees F, put extra strain on the body, especially the heart and blood vessels. In hot weather, your blood vessels expand to help release heat. While that helps with cooling, it can backfire for older adults, particularly those with high blood pressure or heart issues. The widening of vessels can trigger dehydration and cause blood pressure to dip, leaving you lightheaded or even faint. If you're also taking medications like diuretics or beta blockers, those effects can become stronger. Now flip the season. In cold conditions, your blood vessels tighten up. This sudden constriction can drive blood pressure higher. And if you're walking uphill or pushing against the wind, the spike can be dramatic. For someone with narrowed arteries or a history of stroke, this sudden jump can be dangerous. In fact, research shows stroke risk rises in colder months, partly because of these vascular reactions. One study published in the journal Stroke found that adults over 65 were more likely to have strokes on days with wide temperature swings. The body simply struggles to keep up, and the cardiovascular system pays the price. Take Mary, a 68-year-old retired teacher I know. She loved her daily morning walks, no matter the weather. One winter day, with temperatures in the low 40s, she thought she'd be fine. But just 10 minutes into her walk, she felt chest tightness and had to sit down. A neighbor spotted her and called for help. Doctors later explained her blood pressure had spiked sharply due to the cold and physical effort combined. The good news is, you can protect yourself. In hot weather, walk earlier in the morning or later in the evening and carry water. In cold conditions, dress in layers, warm up indoors first, and keep walks shorter. And if the weather feels extreme, it's perfectly fine to skip your walk. Health comes first. Now, let's talk about something we rarely think about: the ground beneath our feet. At first glance, sidewalks, hills, or trails seem harmless. But uneven, sloped, or bumpy paths can quietly raise your risk of more than just a sprained ankle. When you walk on rough or hilly terrain, your body has to work harder to stay balanced. Your heart rate climbs faster, your breathing deepens, and your leg muscles strain to keep you steady. While that extra effort might seem like a healthy challenge, for older adults, especially those with high blood pressure or delicate blood vessels, it can become risky. Why? Because sudden bursts of exertion can cause blood pressure to spike. If your arteries are weakened, that surge can raise the risk of a rupture, what doctors call a hemorrhagic stroke. On the other hand, if you have plaque buildup, the stress of steep or uneven walking can dislodge some of it, creating a clot that may travel to the brain and block blood flow. An ischemic stroke. A University of California study tested older adults walking on different surfaces. Results showed that walking uphill or on uneven ground made systolic blood pressure rise much more than walking on flat surfaces. The spike only lasted minutes, but for someone vulnerable, that brief window is enough to cause serious harm. I remember Jim, a 74-year-old former contractor. He loved hiking the hills behind his home. One day, after a steep climb, he suddenly felt weak and confused. He was rushed to the ER, where doctors diagnosed a mild stroke. They explained the combination of effort and warm weather had sent his blood pressure soaring too quickly. To stay safe, stick to flat walking paths whenever possible. Parks, walking tracks, or neighborhood sidewalks. If you do enjoy a challenge, take hills slowly. Rest often, and pay attention to how you feel. And if your doctor has told you your blood pressure is unstable, it's best to avoid steep terrain altogether. Finally, let's look at one more walking mistake that nearly everyone makes. And it's surprisingly simple to fix. It has nothing to do with where or when you walk, but with what you don't do beforehand: staying hydrated. Walking while even slightly dehydrated sets the stage for more than just dry mouth or fatigue. Dehydration makes your blood thicker, slowing circulation and raising the risk of clot formation. For older adults, especially those with cholesterol or vascular disease, this creates a perfect storm. The danger often appears later, when the body is resting. Here's why: at night, the body naturally slows down. Heart rate drops, blood flow eases. If you're already dehydrated, that thicker blood can form tiny clots. If one travels to the brain, it can cause a stroke while you sleep. That's why strokes so often strike in the early morning hours. A study in neurology even showed that older adults who drank less than 1.5 liters of water daily had higher blood markers linked to clot risk. Take Betty, 76, a woman I once met. She was fit, walked every afternoon, ate well, but disliked drinking water. One evening, after her usual walk, she felt fine. But early the next morning, she woke up with slurred speech and weakness. She'd had a minor stroke. Her doctor later explained that chronic dehydration likely played a role. The fix is simple. Drink a glass of water before your walk, and another after. About 8–16 ounces is usually enough, though you'll need more in hot weather or if you're sweating a lot. It's a small habit that can make a big difference. So, we've now covered 6 surprising walking mistakes. Let's wrap this up with a gentle reminder. Walking is one of the simplest, most healing gifts we have. It costs nothing, and it can improve both body and mind. But like any gift, it comes with responsibility. The way we walk, when we walk, and how we prepare for it can either strengthen us or silently put us at risk. The habits we've talked about may seem minor, but over time they matter, especially as we age and our bodies become more sensitive. Remember, walking should bring calm, not harm. With a little more awareness, hydrating, choosing safe times, paying attention to the ground beneath your feet, you can keep your walk safe, energizing, and truly restorative. No drastic changes are needed, just small, thoughtful adjustments. Now, let me ask you, have you ever wondered if the way you sit could quietly be raising your stroke risk? Imagine this. You're in your favorite chair, TV on, a warm drink in hand. It feels harmless, even comforting. But certain sitting habits can quietly affect your health more than you'd think. Crossing your legs might feel comfortable or even natural, but sitting this way for long periods can have hidden effects. When one leg rests above the knee, it lightly squeezes major blood vessels. At first, the pressure may seem too small to matter, but over time, especially if you do it for hours each day, it can slowly affect circulation and raise blood pressure. For older adults whose blood vessels are already less flexible, that extra strain adds up. So what's the solution? Start with awareness. Notice how often you cross your legs and how long you stay that way. If it's a habit, try switching sides from time to time, or better yet, keep both feet flat on the floor. A small cushion or footrest under your feet can also make sitting more comfortable while protecting your veins. And if you find yourself restless, give your calves a light massage or rotate your ankles. These little movements wake up circulation and keep blood flowing smoothly. The goal isn't to never cross your legs again, it's simply not to stay locked in that position too long. Now, let's move to another posture that creeps in without us even realizing it, slouching or leaning your head forward. It often happens when reading, scrolling through a phone, or just relaxing. It doesn't look dangerous. In fact, it usually feels cozy, but over time, this position can interfere with blood flow to the brain. Here's why. When your shoulders round and your head tips forward, you're putting pressure on the neck muscles and the arteries that supply the brain with oxygen, rich blood. Even a little compression, repeated often, makes your brain work harder to get the circulation it needs. The result: dizziness, headaches, or cloudy thinking. Over the long term, this posture can add to more serious risks, especially for those with high blood pressure or stiff arteries. There's also the weight factor. The human head weighs about 10 pounds, but tilt it forward and the strain on the neck multiplies. That extra stress can cause tight shoulders, spinal stiffness, and alignment issues that make healthy circulation even harder. The good news is, posture can be improved gently. You don't need to sit ramrod straight, just make small adjustments. Choose a chair with good back support, or place a cushion behind your lower back. Lift books or screens to eye level to avoid looking down for long stretches. Take breaks to roll your shoulders back, stretch your neck, or sit tall and breathe deeply. Even a few minutes of these resets can make a real difference. Next, let's look at another sitting habit many of us use without thinking. Tucking one leg under or leaning to one side. Maybe you always sit with your right leg folded beneath you, or shift your weight onto one hip. It feels casual, maybe even comforting, but over time it can quietly throw your body out of balance. Think of your pelvis as the foundation of your body. When you consistently lean or tuck to one side, that base tilts. The spine, hips, and muscles then adjust to compensate, which creates uneven pressure on nerves and blood vessels in the lower back and legs. That imbalance can slow blood flow, irritate nerves, and sometimes cause tingling, numbness, or stiffness. For older adults with joint wear or reduced flexibility, it can increase the risk of chronic pain or circulation issues that raise clot risk. The fix? Again, awareness. If you notice yourself sitting unevenly, gently shift back and plant both feet on the floor. Use a cushion or rolled towel for support if needed. On soft couches, add a firmer pillow under your hips to keep your body aligned. And remember to get up often. Even a quick walk around the room resets posture and boosts circulation. Another sneaky factor is the chair itself. The furniture you choose can quietly affect your health more than you realize. A chair that's too low, too soft, or lacking support may feel cozy, but it can compromise circulation. When your knees sit higher than your hips, the underside of your thighs presses down on major veins, slowing blood flow back to the heart. This can cause swelling in the legs, and in more serious cases, even clots. Combine that with poor back support that encourages slouching, and you've got a recipe for posture problems and circulation slowdowns. The good news: you don't need to give up your favorite chair. Just make small adjustments. Use a cushion to raise your seat if it's too low. Add a footrest if your feet don't touch the ground comfortably. Place a rolled towel or small pillow behind your lower back to support your spine. And no matter how good your chair feels, stand up and stretch every 30 minutes or so. Lastly, let's talk about your environment. Ever sat near a drafty window in winter or under an air conditioner that blows directly on you? It might feel refreshing at first, but sitting in a cold environment for long periods makes your body constrict blood vessels near the surface to conserve heat. That slows circulation, particularly in the hands, feet, and legs, and increases the chance of clotting. For older adults, who already have less flexible blood vessels and may take medications that affect circulation, this effect can be even more pronounced. Numb fingers, heavy legs, or sudden chills are all warning signs that blood flow isn't ideal. The fix is simple: keep warm. You don't need to overheat the room. Just add a lap blanket, wear cozy socks, or sip a warm drink. Block drafts with curtains or a rolled towel, and use layers you can adjust as needed. Staying comfortably warm helps your circulation, eases the workload on your heart, and supports sharper brain function. Now that we've explored these sitting habits, let's pull everything together. Maybe you're thinking back to how you've been sitting today, or for years. That's okay. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. Knowing that everyday postures and surroundings can quietly affect your health gives you the power to make small, meaningful changes. Your body has carried you through a lifetime of moments, and it deserves support in return. Stand up more often, shift your posture, keep warm, and choose seating that works with your body. not against it. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start with one small change, and let it grow into a healthier habit. Each adjustment strengthens circulation, reduces strain, and protects your long-term health. Walking, sitting, resting. These everyday actions should bring comfort, not hidden risk. With a little more awareness and care, they can. If this resonated with you, leave a 1 in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Health 365. We're here to share simple, practical tips to keep you strong, safe, and inspired every day.